Well, we've got to talk about our favourite director and 5 reasons why we like them. Although I won't be talking about my favourite director, I'll be talking about a director I really do like and 5 exact reasons that I feel like he is good at what he does. To which I'm going to pick Steven Spielberg. Now, my favourite Spielbergian film is Jurassic Park, but that's because it's one of my favourite movies of all time, and one of my most fond childhood memories, the first time I ever watched Jurassic Park, especially the bit where the lawyer gets eaten on the toilet. But that's just that. So, the 5 reasons I really like Steven Spielberg is he seems like a believer, like a dreamer, if that makes sense. Because he comes up with these crazy ideas which, yes, have elements of his real life. For example, E.T., for example. He wanted to make a movie that kids could watch, like, when they were going through divorce, because he went through his parents having a divorce when he was a kid, and he wanted to make a movie that reflects how that feels. So he made a fun movie with an alien. But he just seems a very down-to-earth guy, is what I'm trying to say. Is he understands people, and he just makes the films that he wants to make, although he has got caught up in studios before. Number 2, his use of soundtracks, which is partly linked to like John Williams, but I feel like whenever he works with John Williams in particular, he makes some amazing work, be it the Jurassic Park theme or the Jaws theme. I know this is more to do with the composer, but it works with the director because basically how film composing works is they will see the film and they will make the music based on what they see in the film. They won't make the music beforehand, obviously. So it's partly a mixture of their two visions, and I feel like Spielberg's soundtracks are spectacular. So, 3, I feel like he can talk to a mainstream audience. I mean, he made one of the biggest blockbusters of all time in the form of, well, 2 of the biggest blockbusters of all time. He made Jaws, and he made Jurassic Park. You see, but Jaws was important because it was one of the first proper big blockbusters ever made. So yeah, he kind of defined the term blockbuster. Number 4, this is an interesting little tidbit, which is, you may be like, Finn, this has no idea why you like this director. Well, it kind of does. For those of you who did not know, Steven Spielberg kind of created the PG-13, or if you live in the UK like I do, it'd be the 12A age rating. Which you may be like, oh, that's a bad thing, but at the time before the Super Bowl incident, it was the perfect age rating. See, why this was created was because Steven Spielberg was the producer between Gremlins and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom? Yeah, Temple of Doom. And the idea was that people were getting very angry at him because these were PG movies, but they had extreme gore and blood and gremlins exploding in microwaves. And so he contacted the head of the Motion Picture Society, and they made the PG-13 rating. But Steven Spielberg was a big part of that. That's why I feel like it's an important thing to bring up. And number 5, Steven Spielberg has redefined fiction. You may be like, what are they talking about? Well, some of Steven Spielberg's films, love them or hate them, have changed the way we view cinema. For example, Jurassic Park, one of the biggest reasons we have CGI today, besides Tron. But Jurassic Park was a very big key factor to why we have CGI today, which is a very important part in movie making of the 21st century. As far as things that Steven Spielberg say, like, he has a lot of good quotes to him as well. Like, things he said I absolutely love. In fact, I have a big book, it's just out of shot, of like Steven Spielberg movies in a book with like Steven Spielberg quotes. And one of the quotes in that, which I think is very important, and I think it's going to be what I end this off with, is that he said, when I grow up, he said, still, when I grow up, I want to be a movie director. He wants to be a dreamer, basically. Steven Spielberg has said that he enjoys his work because he dreams the dreams of people. And I really like just the way he is. I mean, I was originally just going to film me reading out some of the quotes, but that would be a bit cheap, so I'll probably put the quotes below the video or on the WordPress when I upload it there eventually. But Yeah, Steven Spielberg was a big influence on my life, especially because, as I said, he made Jurassic Park, and Jurassic Park was the movie that really, although I loved movies beforehand, it was the movie that really helped me appreciate cinema. And then he did it again with Jaws, that made me get into horror movies, and he did it again with E.T., which made me just really enjoy family movies again when I was starting to grow out of those. So he really affected my life, and that's why was going to talk about him, because three of his biggest films have affected my life. So there we go, that's it, the video. There we go.